when you read Indian history, it is a long litany of battles that the Indians lost. So, think back to your history books that you have read or had to study at university or college or school, and it's about the 3 battles of Panipat. It's about the Battle of Pasi and the Battle of Buxar. But you never read anything about the battles that the Indians won. In fact, we won quite a lot of battles if you go back and dig up our history. For the very simple reason, we know that, for the very simple reason that we are still here. And we won this continuity of our civilization, as I pointed out, through spilling a lot of blood. And we won quite a lot of times. And that is why we continue to exist, because it was not as if those who invaded us did not try to forcibly change and dominate us. So, let me name a few battles through history that many of you may have never heard of, but are actually major events in Indian history. Now, you've all heard of Mahmud Ghazni and how he invaded India 17 times over 25 years. Now, if you read an Indian history book, you will get the impression that Mahmud Ghazni came, he invaded 17 times, a few years passed, and then Muhammad Ghori came in, he defeated Prithviraj Chauhan, and then, the gates of India opened and we were conquered in one shot. In fact, nothing of that sort happened. There is a gap of 1.5 centuries between Mahmud Ghazni and Muhammad Ghori. Why is there a 150-year gap between the two? And the reason for that is that in 1033 AD, a very large Turkish army charged down from Afghanistan across the plains, across into the Gangetic plains, and was met by a much smaller army led by a bunch of local chieftains from that area near what is now Faizabad, Ayodhya area. And they fought a big battle. And the Indian side was led by a chieftain called Suheldev or Sukhdev Pasi. Suheldev or Sukhdev Pasi. Suheldev or Sukhdev Pasi. And in that battle, the Turks were completely destroyed. They were destroyed and decimated to such an extent that they did not dare come back in for another 150 years. This army was led by Mahmud Ghazni's nephew, who was killed in that battle. There's still a mazar to him in Bahraich. There's the Battle of Bahraich in 1033 AD. Now, no Indian textbook will tell you about this. The only people who remember about this are the caste from which Suheldev Pasi came from, the Pasis themselves. But other than that, pretty much nobody else remembers this. But this is not the only example. If you don't happen to be Assamese, you're probably entirely ignorant about the fact that the Mughal Empire at its height was defeated by the Assamese in a place very close to Guwahati called Saraighat.